Hello, welcome back to the channel. So let's get straight to it. I wanted to do a video about what I believe is next for Tyson Fury, and at the end I'm going to talk about what I believe he's got left as a fighter coming from a boxing coach's perspective. So the obvious suggestion and the obvious fight to make would be the Joshua fight. You know, it's been brewing for the best part of a decade. It's more prevalent and more prominent now than it's ever been, given the back of Joshua coming off the back of the win against Jake Paul, who is a terrible fighter, but he's a massive name. So Joshua's name is bigger than it's ever been, particularly in America, with it being on Netflix, etc. And with Fury, again, with the Netflix thing, being on the series at Home of the Furies. So they are both now, with regards to their star power, at their peak. They're as possibly as big as they're ever going to get until or unless they fight each other. So the obvious fight to make would be the Fury versus Joshua fight. There are other options for him. He could go in with some of the older guard of the heavyweight generation. You know, Zhilei Zhang is still relatively active and not announced his retirement. It's a big name for Tyson. He could go in with the winner of Dave Allen versus Filip Hrgović. Again, part of the older guard, still big name, particularly if it's Dave Allen. If Dave Allen pulls off a miracle and beats Hrgović, that's a big name, particularly in the UK. Good cash out for them both, probably do a stadium. With regards to the old guard, that's probably about it, really. You know, it's Joshua, Hrgović, Dave Allen, Zhang. You know, there's not really much knocking about for him with regards to the old guard, because he wants to, in my opinion, stay away from this. Is it newer breed coming through? I mean, there's the newer breed coming through, and there's the more established who've still got a few years left. They kind of fall into two different categories, don't they? You know, you've got the established ones like Wardley and Dubois, who are obviously boxing each other. So he could fight the winner of them, given that they're all under the Queensberry banner with regards to promotion. But if I was Tyson Fury, I'd stay away from it. In a few minutes, I'm going to address his comments that he made at the post-fight press conference. You know, Caballel, I'd stay away from that one if I was Fury, because of how tenacious and how hungry he is, given he's not achieved world championship status yet. There's the guys over in America, given that he's with Queensberry, and Queensberry have a relatively decent relationship with Top Rank, you know, like Frank Sanchez and Richard Torres. There's a couple of guys over there he could go in with. That's about it, really, you know, because now he needs to decide, is he going for business or is he going for legacy? Does he want to become a 308 world champion? In that case, he'd have to go down the winner of Wardley Dubois route. Like I said, they're all with Queensberry, so it's easy to make. It's all an in-house promotion, in-stable promotion. But to me, he stays well away from them, in my opinion. Or Oleksandr Usyk, which Usyk's beaten him conclusively twice. I don't think any real boxing fan wants to see it again, because, in my opinion, the second loss to Usyk was more conclusive than the first. So we don't need to see that again, in my opinion. So he does have options, but he doesn't have many to stir up the public's imagination and to generate any kind of money. The big one, the one 99.99% of British boxing public want to see, is Fury versus Edge. That's the one they want to see. That's the one that generates the most cash. That's the one that brings the most eyeballs, for the reasons I've already highlighted in the previous part of this video. That leads me on nicely into what he's got left as a fighter, coming from a boxing coach's perspective. The Tyson Fury of old is gone. The Tyson Fury that beat Klitschko, the Tyson Fury that beat Wilder conclusively in the second and the third fight. He did win the first fight as well, but conclusively in the second and the third fight, he battered Deontay Wilder. That Fury has gone, possibly being taken away from him by them 3 fights with Wilder, who is a massive puncher. And then the 2 fights with Usyk would have taken a lot out of him. Not so much physically, because Usyk isn't known as a concussive puncher like Deontay Wilder is, but mentally, because it was his first loss and his second loss, both to the same man, both within the same 12-month period. So that would have taken a lot away from him mentally. He did say at the press conference, which leads me to believe that he knows he's ready for bowing out as well with regards to his physicalities. He did say, I'm not interested in the young guys. I'm not interested in Itoma, Caballel, and all them kind of guys. He said it's either AJ or I'm out, which suggests to me he knows physically that he's dwindling, which he is. He's further time. That's not a slight on Fury. It's further time. You know, he's 36, coming on for 37. I know he's 41 when I still get in for a spar with the lads. It's not the same as it was a few years ago. Every couple of years, you seem to lose that little bit more spring in your step. So Fury himself knows that that's happening. So he knows that he's slowing down. He knows that his feet are slowing down. That Fury that had the movement of the middleweight, the slipping and the sliding and bouncing off the ropes like the Ali style where he was slipping everywhere, that Fury's gone. He has adapted his style a little bit more. He started sitting down in shots a little bit so he can get some respect in the way of power and make you respect him in the terms of landing a heavy couple of shots, 2-3 shot combination and moving off. He's making you respect him a little bit in a little bit of a different way now. But the Fury of old is gone. I think, in my opinion, excuse me, in my opinion, there's probably one fight left for him, maybe two if he has an easy run out. But there's only Joshua left. On the back of Joshua being at the very similar stage of his career as well, you know, we saw in his ringside interview that he seems to also have one foot out the door. You know, I don't know where I'm up to yet. I don't know how I feel. No, I'm not taking a slant on Joshua. He's just suffered a massive tragedy, losing two of his best friends, which were also two members of his team who he lived with, etc. in Cena and Lats. You know, that is a massive thing to try and recover from mentally, spiritually, emotionally. And then we've got to talk about physically what Joshua's got left after the car accident, etc. So we don't know what injuries he's sustained. So Joshua and Fury are both at similar stages of the career. The fight has been building up for a decade. If they're going to do it, I know we've said this, probably said this once a fortnight for the last 7 years, but if they're going to do it, the time is now. They're both on the last, you know, they're both coming to the ultimate or the penultimate fight of their careers. Just get it done. Get it done. Let them both cash out. Get that generational wealth for decades upon decades to come so the great-grandchildren never have to go to work. And it gives the people the fight they want to see. I'll be honest, from a Jigsaw Boxing with John perspective, I don't care if it happens or not. I really, really don't. I don't think that fight defines either of their careers. They've both had great careers. They've both been great fighters. They've both been in with top names. It doesn't define them. Same as Lennox Lewis, how he never fought Riddick Bowe. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect their legacy in any single way whatsoever. So if it happens, it happens from my point of view. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not bothered. But the fight to make for Tyson Fury is Anthony Joshua. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you're into your boxing, I do all kinds on this channel. I do boxing conversations. I do boxing tutorials, fight breakdowns. I do all kinds. So give me a like on this video. It really helps the algorithm. Give me a subscribe. That also helps the algorithm. It puts me on other people's home feeds so we can all engage in conversations together. And comment. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Am I talking nonsense? Am I talking sense? Let me know in the comments. I'm always up for a debate, conversation, anything regarding boxing. You know, I respond to as many comments as I possibly can. So if you'd like to have a discussion, even a debate, comment below. Let me know what you're thinking about the future for Tyson Fury, and we'll get to it in the comments. Thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one.